Big, exciting, great news tonight as a second stimulus check vote is imminent next week for your stimulus check and FPUC extensions. So exciting. But there's one problem. The problem is that a lot of congressmen are still thinking about Mitch McConnell's fish bill. So they were trying to fix it today, and Marsh Meadows and Mitch McConnell went around town to speak to the different congressmen about about taking them out to Red Lobster. They went to AOC's office, the Democrat of New York. I said, AOC, you want to go to Red Lobster, talk about stimulus? She said, no, I'm still working on my pot bill. Seaweed. Then they went to Chuck Schumer's office. Said, Chuck, hey, you want to go to Red Lobster? We're going to talk about stimulus, the stimulus vote next week. Chuck said, no, I'm watching Broadway remixes. Finding Nemo. Mitch McConnell says, he finds him in the end. Spoiled it for him. Then finally, they went to dinner, and they went to Red Lobster, talked about stimulus check, the stimulus vote next week, and they got the most expensive fish on the menu, very overpriced. Over $1,200, and your stimulus check, of course, went to the meal, and it came, and they had it, and it was very not good. It was horrible, very bloated. It was a blowfish, and so they asked the waitress and said, "Where did you get this fish? It's absolutely horrible. You shouldn't be serving this. This is just dreadful." Chesapeake Bay, no. Gulf of Mexico, no. Atlantic Ocean. Waitress turns. She says, "No, Pelosi." Yes, here we are. Good evening, everybody. This is LALATE. Hope you're good and safe. This is our 1 hour programming block. If it's a catch of the sea, then it's the catch of the day. Here we are every day at 6:30 Pacific Standard Time, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time, on a big exciting day for stimulus check. I know you were waiting for executive order for second stimulus check, but the real progress tonight is that Republicans and Democrats have gone on the record that they're going to be a second stimulus check vote next week. Literally next week, if not a few days thereafter to the week after. This is insanely great news. Absolutely insanely great news. And I'm reporting only on this channel that the deal is going to be got by October 1st. Oh my goodness. Insane, incredible details tonight. A lot of facets. I'm going to go over them shortly, and I'll be going over some of your $1,200 questions. $1,200 questions. There's a lot of 1,200 in tonight's recording. So thank you for joining me tonight. Go to the Friendly channel and subscribe, and drop your comments below, and I might feature them tomorrow's recording. And please hit the alert button. This is the channel that has reached 260,000 subscribers now in 4 months for a reason, because no one delivers you in-depth reporting like this one. Also like this video because it's going to be a really good darn video. The situation tonight is the following. There's going to be a vote next week. Republicans and Democrats are saying these are Republicans and Democrats all over the place. It's not one, it's not two, it's a lot of them. They've all gone on the record. They've all said it. They've said it over the progression of a couple days, and they said it for a series of different reasons, but they generally are saying the same thing. That we can't do what we're doing, it's not working. What will they be voting on? How soon will you get the money? What day will be the vote? All those questions are being answered right now. First, they will be voting on a bill that is somewhere around 1.5 and a little bit more. I'm reporting on this channel tonight. The reason why is because the bill is going to track the Problem Solvers bill, but may be a little bit more robust. There is a big call to work off of the Problem Solvers bill because it is bipartisan, and to add on to it what is missing. Among the things that are missing, airlines. Other things that viewers of this channel think is missing, retroactive benefits for FPUC, and dependent checks at $1,200, not at $500. Additionally, there's a need to perhaps ramp up some other items in there. Some of the viewers of this channel would like EIDL grant in there. But there's some items that need a little bit of ramping up, not a lot. We're not talking about trillions and trillions of dollars of ramping up, but just maybe a little bit more. That reaction is causing a fissure fusion, a Ford car somewhere, between Republicans and Democrats, and they're just having a conniption fit. Let me explain to you where we are because it's a little bit confusing. First, it has in the progress of about 4 days, the entire situation has imploded from becoming a two-person discussion to literally every single representative, whether House or Democrat, every senator, whether Democratic or Republican, has an opinion and is making their opinion very well clear. The old stomping orders to keep your mouth shut and only let one woman talk are long gone. So everyone that was, commenting early in the week, she rejected, she said this, she said, no. They're literally coming out and saying, she's not talking for me anymore. And there's a reason why. They're seats. Seats for stimulus. You started it. We did it. The Purple Power. There's a reason why there's 260,000 subscribers in 4 months. The Purple Power really pushed the envelope. And we said, hey, if you're an elected official and you're up for re-election, if you don't get a stimulus, you're not going to get reelected. Well, they heard that very loud and clear. And it was covered across all broadcast media in the last 48 hours that there were Republicans who are up for re-election that are afraid of losing, and there are Democrats that are up for re-election that are afraid of losing, and that the Temple of Doom's strategy, which was perhaps don't do stimulus and the Senate will flip and every Republican will lose and every Democrat will win, is not working because the polls now show that every incumbent is up for flipping because they haven't done crap. So as we sit here tonight, the progress is insanely important. The progress is that the bill would track a series of concerns. The concerns are the following. The Republicans are split between two fractions. The first faction is the president. The other faction is really crazy, lunatic conservatives. The president is currently at $1.5 trillion. The $1.5 trillion is the problem solvers bill. He wants it to be around the problem solvers bill, the president has said, but he'll go higher. So this means $1,200 individual checks, $2,400 individual married couple checks, dependent checks, $500, whether you're adult dependent or minor dependent, not taken out for child support. You would get a check if you're on SSDI, SSI, Social Security, or railroad benefits. This is all incredibly great news. The number of people in the household appears not to be limited, and there would be a second check in March 30th of next year if the pandemic doesn't improve, which it's not, and unemployment doesn't improve, which it's not as well. So that's all really good. But the president says he wants to go higher than 1.5. It should not be a surprise to the viewers that he has said that, the president, because I've been telling you since June that the president is going to settle at 1.5 to 2. It's literally going to land there, and his threshold is 2. It's not 1.5. I've also said to you that CARES Act 1 is 2, and that the president will bring the Republicans up. Now, who's the other faction? The other faction issue are crazy, insane Republicans who don't want to spend a penny. They don't want to spend even $1 trillion. And so as we sit here tonight, will those Republicans get drawn up? Yes. Are some of them incumbents? Oh, yeah, they are. Are some of them long-term Republicans who are not up for re-election and just, sort of pig-headed? Absolutely. But the president is saying, get it done, or else, or I'm going to make a fool of you, or I'm going to do it myself. Now, on the other side is the real progress tonight. Oh, my goodness. The real progress is Democrats are saying the same thing, essentially. One woman from California is not going to tell me what to do and determine the fate of my re-election seat. I'm coming out and I'm saying we're putting a bill up for vote next week. If you don't want to be involved, you can just stay home because we're doing it. I mean, that's literally the phraseology, the phrasing that they're saying in their interviews. We're putting up a vote. So pick a bill, honey, and we're doing a vote. It's as simple as that. And it actually has as much spunk as the way I'm saying it. It's like, Lily, we're doing this. So you don't want to participate, stay home. And so everything that she tried to do around Tuesday about saying everything is fine and the caucus is good and we're all caucus, and she will probably do again on Monday. She will probably say, my caucus is great. The problem is that her members of her party who are Democrats, have a D behind their name, are going all across broadcast news, all across print media, and saying, I don't support her, I don't support her, I don't support her. We have to have a vote. So what will their potential bill to be voted upon will be is two possibilities. It is problem solvers amped up, more stuff in it, or Heroes Act Light, which would be Heroes Act reduced to 2.2, which is where the negotiations stopped. Now, the fight over that appears to suggest it will be problem solvers amped up, not Heroes Light, because the Temple of Doom, believes that if she introduces a bill at 2.2, it'll never get a Republican up. I just don't think that's true. I think if she wrote a bill that was $2 trillion, the president would probably sign it right today. She's just not. She's mentally ill. Some more fish jokes. All right. So with that, when would you see money, and how would this work, and how would this land? All right. Here are some things to understand and listen. We see each other. First, congressional leaders have lied to us before, and they may lie to us again. So the claim that they're putting this up for a vote next week may also turn out to be another lie. So understand that I'm reporting what they are representing. I'm not putting something up for a vote. I'm telling you what they say is happening next week. They may lie again to us once again. It may not happen. So please understand that. Next, if they put it up for a vote, the way it works is 1 day for the Senate, 1 day for the House, 1 day for the President. It takes 3 days to vote. So by the third day, it would become law, if it becomes law, or would implode by the third day if it implodes by the third day. 3 days. Next, will you be receiving a check next week? No. This is not I Dream of Jeannie. This is not the Jetsons, This is not Star Trek, where it materializes, from the bridge, Captain Sulu is all of a sudden the check is there. No, check will not just, oh, there's a check. The president just signed the bill, and suddenly a check landed in my pocket instantly. No, I mean, checks don't appear within seconds of someone signing a bill. I mean, the Treasury has to go back. They have to do things. They have to send the check out. And I know you don't want to hear that, but I mean, have you ever seen a place where someone says, oh, I'm going to give you a check, and it's instantly in your hand within 10 seconds? No. I mean, that's if you see the person face to face. So Mnuchin's representation, again, his representation is it would take 10 days from there on, from when the president signs into law, for you to receive the second stimulus check in your bank account if you're on SSDI, SSI, Social Security, or railroad benefits. And if you're not, but have some type of connection with the IRS where you pay electronically or you get refunds electronically, then there would be the same routing time. If you're a totally paper check person, then you would just add another week. All really great news. How about the FPUC 2.0? Well, at the moment, we're at a really good place. We're not at a great place. The good place is 445. And it's being supported by the president. We've never had a Republican up that high, and certainly not the president up at 445 a week for FPUC. 450. 450 initially for 8 weeks, and then after 8 weeks, it would be 5 weeks of 600. I mean, this is insanely great. So the only thing that's bad about it is it's not retroactive. Finally, has nothing to do with LWA. It does not go on top of LWA. It does not tee up to something else, and it does not have that $100 threshold of LWA. If you don't know what I'm referring to, that doesn't apply to you. All right, with that, a lot of big developments. Finally, why is this week's coming up so important? Because of an October 1st deadline. Something you're only going to hear on this channel. The October 1st deadline is something anchored to something other than stimulus checks. But because it would go in a stimulus package where stimulus checks are, there is now a concern that they need to do this entire stuff by October 1st. And I mean the president signing it by October 1st. Otherwise, that other thing is going to implode. What is that? Airlines. Yeah. Fly away. Not Nancy Pelosi, but, airlines. They have to get a relief in place by October 1st, or they will implode. And the hope is that it stays in second stimulus bill. It does not go by executive order, because if it goes in the second stimulus bill, it's really going to get everything done by October 1st. Nancy Pelosi, Mark Meadows have all said it should go in the second stimulus bill, and they're willing to put it in the second stimulus bill, and they're willing to revise the second stimulus bill to have it in there. And they all understand the deadline's October 1st. What is the deadline? It is a deadline for employees. They have furloughed employees under federal law. They have to October 1st to decide whether they're employing them or firing them, and they can't hire them based upon their current economic situation unless they get a bailout, and that bailout needs to be formulated by October 1st. So by pulling that along, it pulls everything else in the package to get done by October 1st, which is a good thing. And there we are. A lot of stuff, a lot of details, I know. The program, the bill would also include rent, would include potentially hazard pay. It's not in the Problem Solvers bill currently, but it is in the HEROES Act, and food, EIDL, and some other great stuff. All right, let me answer some of your questions from last night. Rebecca White, I hope this is fast. Americans need help. Michael, Nancy Pelosi remembers the worst speaker of the House in the world history. William Eaton, Trump needs to do executive order plus the new bill. Just saying, you're not going to get both. Vicky DeVire, he needs to move fast if he wants to beat Pelosi to it. Debbie Riddle, Congress has plenty of time to get this done. I don't see where the president has any other choice but to do executive order. I am agreeing with all your comments about executive order. I think the president needs to do it. I think he should do it. And I don't think he should wait another minute. I mean, mail-in balloting has started. People are voting by mail-in right now. And what we're talking about tonight with the voting next week still could implode. I mean, they could vote and it could still not pass. So how long is the president going to hold out to hope that someone else does his job? Penny Softener, President Trump needs to sign the executive order now. Joanne, we need a bigger and bigger stimulus. Not going to happen. Rel, tweet Trump, tell him what you want to do. Do it now. Melissa Ansero, from your mouth to God's ears and President's ears, Trump's ears, please. Sarah Engel, Nancy has lost her marbles. She needs a new home. Gina Osborne, this is a three-ring circus. How can they let this go without? No help, no vote. Finally answer. Parisha Hareen, $1,200 wasn't enough the first time. It's not going to be enough time. I'm sure all of us appreciate $1,200, but what's it going to do? It won't get the homeless back into a home. Not enough. Mike Rebellion, all this Hurricane Sally, not to mention enough. I want you to understand that, everyone has a different situation. And this channel covers a lot of different subjects. If you're only watching stimulus for just the check, understand that there's more in the stimulus package that other viewers of this channel may be also watching for. EIDL, rent aid, food. Rent aid also includes utilities, hazard pay, unemployment benefits. So understand that when we talk about a stimulus package, there's a lot of money going to a lot of people, and some of the views of this channel, a lot of them qualify for a lot of things. Some only qualify for stimulus check. I understand the concerns about the amount of the stimulus check, $1,200. That is categorically not getting changed. I'm not responsible for it. It's not my doing, but that's not getting changed. The dependence issue is still all over the place. So you could still see that dependence check come up, which is really great news. You could see it come up from $500 to $1,200. Coming up next after this video is another special of the Purple Power. Why you need to really ramp up as we go into next week, because next week's going to be a hot mess express like you've never ever seen before. Go to the front of this channel and subscribe. Drop your comments below. I might feature them tomorrow's recording. Last night's viewership on this video was incredible, so keep it up, and also like this video. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, stay focused, and save LA for more.